Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a really good week. Now, today I'm going to talk about why don't we have more Bitcoin adoption in the United States? I find it so challenging nowadays because I look at everything, I say, hey, all these merchants out here, they're taking a hit. They have to pay 2 to 3% interchange fees when they have to accept a card. Maybe it's even higher than that, 4 or 5% if it's an Amex. The bottom line is this. We in the United States have a lot of privilege from the aspect of we're banked, we're able to kind of have the freedom to transact for the most part, and we have a lot of wealth in this country. And my question is this: why do other countries adopt this? And it's funny because I was going to Fry's the other day and I was thinking about it through a different angle. And they do not have the touchless pay, and they don't have Apple Pay or any of the more modern payment methods. It's because they don't need to innovate. If you go to El Salvador, they all have QR codes and ways that you can just pay directly from your phone. And same with India. India, as we all know, that India over the past couple decades was more of a poor country. Now it's more of a emerging middle class. Even some can say it's going to become a wealthier country. The bottom line is this: in the United States, we have a lot of existing infrastructure and we're spoiled. So we don't feel the need necessarily to innovate and adapt. Rather, we feel like, hey, things are okay. Let's keep it status quo. Let's not spend more money on things that are not going to rapidly improve our lives. So essentially, we're getting leapfrogged. My thing is this: why else do other nations adopt? Well, they realize that there's a problem with the money. They realize that they can't get access to bank accounts or credit cards, or they're deemed not creditworthy. So the steps that we can take here in the United States to make Bitcoin more widespread are pushing our legislation to create more laws. I mean, we have a lot of laws in this country, and I see why people don't accept it for many aspects, and that's because we have a very, very confusing tax code. We have, at one moment's notice, by the stroke of a pen, they can pass legislation to get rid of our private property rights through an executive order like was done in 1934. There's, a lot of things as this. Just ask around too. I mean, go to the farmer's market. Be like, hey, I know you don't want to pay those merchant fees. I was wondering if you would accept Bitcoin. Many times they will say yes if you can kind of talk to them through it. And if they know about Bitcoin, almost always they'll accept it because they know that through Lightning, it's zero fees. Through MasterCard, Visa, Amex, they're going to be paying a significant interchange fee. Now, also, there needs to be more education. That's something else we can do to make it so there's more Bitcoin adoption in the United States, is education. We are lacking significantly on this. I say Me Premier Bitcoin is a good tool. I think there's a lot of good books out there. But the bottom line is people just kind of look at it like, oh, it's some magic internet money. They don't really know the benefits of it because they're kind of a little bit too removed from it, or they're just too accustomed to their normal fiat lifestyle. Biggest thing is this. I think the biggest thing is building tools that merchants, and I know Block has been creating some lately, but creating tools that merchants and individuals alike can use, and this would make it much better to transact with, more easy. So for example, if I go on my iPhone, a lot of people in the US have an iPhone, I want that frictionless experience of being able to simply double tap on my wallet, put it up to a register, and then have it pay for my phone. The Satoshis go out, and then the merchants get their Satoshis, or it just leverages the rails. What I don't want is I don't want to have a more friction-filled experience when paying with Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, we just want convenience. Consumers want convenience. That is what they want. They do not want to have to install all these weird apps and kind of be on the fringe. They don't even want a self-custody, to be honest. They just kind of want the easiest path forward. So tools are probably the most important things we can do to help Bitcoin adoption in the US. At the end of the day, I'm kind of talking about myself to you guys is I think we're spoiled. I think other countries, they have had it really bad for a long time. And they're kind of realizing, wait a second, what can we do to take a step ahead and be that innovative? What do we have to lose by kind of taking this risk? El Salvador, they were like, hey, I mean, we can stay this poor country forever, or we can take a big step forward through this bet. Yes, it was risky. They adopted it when it was 50K a coin. It went down to 16K a coin. I mean, right now it's back up at about 52,500. The point is this. We can't just kind of sit here and just hope that things will get better. I think another thing is the tax code. It is really bad, guys. I don't know if you guys have done taxes on your crypto Bitcoin or whatever, but I'll tell you, it is bad. I'm Bitcoin only now, but back in the day I sold some of my crypto. And what ended up happening is I had a tax nightmare, I swear. CSVs, as far as you can see, the most confusing tax code I've ever been through. And I'm glad I wasn't audited, but the point is, it's not easy. Why can't we just get rid of the tax if it's under $600, right? Or I'm doing a lot of Lightning transactions here and there. Like, what's that tax bill going to be? We need a more friendly jurisdiction for taxes. Now, I'd never want something bad to happen to this country, but something that may need to happen for people to realize how broken things really are is to kind of have a situation like we had in Venezuela, or have a situation like we saw in the truckers in Canada that had to flee their country, or that couldn't transact because their bank accounts were closed. Sometimes something needs to happen for people to wake up, because so many people nowadays are just asleep. Why are they asleep? I don't know. I think as long as a lot of Americans have their TV, they can eat out maybe a couple times a week, go travel maybe here and there. They have their beer, they have their car payments, and they have a steady job. Most of the time, people will be happy. And I don't want to see a world where we kind of are that slow boiling frog in hot water. I want to see a world where we can already see the water is starting to boil and we got to jump out to another system. And I think that Bitcoin will provide that, but I think what we need to do is we need to really take these points of really working with legislators to pass more laws that are friendly, finding a better tax footprint for these kind of transactions, talking to people, educating others, having more education. We got to be teaching people, whether it's you got to be able to explain it to your 93-year-old grandma all the way down to a toddler, essentially, about what Bitcoin is. Because if you can't explain it to everyone, then that's a problem. And then lastly, we got to invest in more tools. We got to be entrepreneurs. We got to keep pushing more and more in this space so that at the end of the day, we are well equipped to have a rollout of, hundreds of millions, if not billions of people leveraging this technology. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think we're spoiled and that's one of the things that'll make it slower to adopt in the US? I'd love to go pay for my gas in Bitcoin. I'd love to do that, many different things. I know it's taking on more of the store of value narrative, but I do believe in the geyser way. Let the sats flow. Keep letting the sats flow, and hopefully we'll see significantly more adoption, both through transactions, but also through holders, as this will help change the world. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I really enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.